Hey y'all, this is Anya DecoToes. Welcome back, or if you are new on this channel, welcome. Let me tell you two things before we get started. We are in the kitchen and we are going to be cooking with the Thermomix. If you have never seen a Thermomix before, oh my goodness, just wait till you see what this thing can do. I have been cooking a lot more recently, and I made the comment to my son. I said, I'm like a cooking machine. And he looked at me and he said, no, you used a cooking machine. So, I can't take all the credit for all my cooking because the Thermomix pretty much does the whole thing for me. If you have not seen me before, obviously, I have no arms. I was born this way. I use my feet for everything. And that behind me was my service dog Expo. He is a golden doodle and he is going to be probably around me a lot in this video since there's food involved. But another thing that I want you to know about me is that I do not cook. I don't know how to cook. I get very overwhelmed with cooking, with all the stuff that you need to do. You know, make sure you don't burn this, make sure you stir this, make sure you do. It's just too much. I hate cooking, or should I say, I hate cooking without the Thermomix. Let me just say, I apologize for the lighting in this video. There's a big patio door right there behind me, and it is a very sunny day. I tried to close the blinds, but they don't really work too well. So I do have a light in front of me. Hopefully that is helping a little bit, but I truly apologize. I didn't want the lighting to stop me from making this video, and I am super excited. Anyways, let's get to it because I'm excited. So we are going to be making a turkey chili. I do want to say a few things about the Thermomix before I start. Also, this is one of those videos where, you know, my feet are right here, my face is right here. The camera might be going a little crazy with the focus, so if I am ever out of focus in this video, again, I apologize. I just don't know how to film a video with showing what I'm doing with my feet and showing my face and staying in focus for the whole video. So I have prepared all the ingredients, so whatever I had to cut and de-seed, whatever I had to wash is washed. Whatever I had to cube is cubed, open is opened. I've got hopefully all the ingredients and all the tools right here ready for me. And this is really what takes the longest time when you cook with the Thermomix. It's just preparing all your ingredients, making sure that you have everything. But I like to do that ahead of time so that once I start cooking, it's just easy peasy. You know, it's done. There's no work at this point. Also, what I love to do when I cook, especially when I use a new recipe that I have never used before, is I will go through. So like right now on the screen, and you won't be able to see a lot of it, that's really not the point of the video, but I will kind of walk you through the screen. You have the turkey chili recipe, and when you scroll down, it tells you the preparation and steps. So for example, it says place cheese into mixing bowl and grate. It tells you the speed and how much time. And then it says transfer to a bowl and set aside. So going through the recipe, I could figure out that the cheese is not actually going into the chili. It's going to be used as a topping. So I'm not going to use that whole 8 ounces that it tells you to, because I know I don't need that much. Also, I have, because there's 2 different cheeses that goes into this. I have one that I've cubed that I will grate before I do anything else, and then the other cheese I already have like shredded, so I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'll just mix the 2 in a bowl. Also, going through the ingredients, 1, you can figure out exactly what you want and get all the ingredients together ready for you. 2, you kind of figure out what to chop beforehand, if anything, and kind of the steps that you will be doing. What I love about one of the latest updates on the Thermomix is that you can actually preview what the next steps will be. So if it's cooking something or sauteing something, you can hit the preview button and you can see what the next steps will be so that you are ready for it, which I love. Another thing that I like to do, let me just exit out of that when you scroll and hit the scales, you can, for example, it told me to use 4 ounces of pepper. So I will hit the scale and just put the pepper on it. I've actually put the whole pepper on it just to have a rough estimate of how much do I need. So when it comes to the onion, the meat, the pepper, and the celery, I like pre-weigh it so that I know how much of it do I need to wash, how much of it do I need to cut, peel, whatever it is. So we've got the chili recipe on the screen now, and it says place the pepper jack cubed and cheddar cheese also cubed. So like I said, I'm not going to do it exactly as the recipe says, and that's what I love. At first when I got the Thermomix, I thought you have to like follow it to the T. No, you don't. You really don't. So I have my pepper jack cheese cubed over here, and I used about half of what the recipe tells you to. I dumped it in there. I'm going to put the lid on it, click next, and then it tells you what the speed is. So I grated the cheese for 15 seconds. Now I will show you what we have. After 15 seconds, this is what it looks like. Awesome. I am going to transfer this back into my bowl. So I have used the spatula that comes with the Thermomix to kind of scrape the sides off. And I've mentioned this in a previous video, but this handle is like the only thing that I hate about it. It just tends to tilt on me and it's hard for me to hold it. So I'm not even gonna worry about like making sure every last piece of it is out because it goes in the recipe anyways. Now, the recipe calls for ground turkey. What I have here is turkey in pieces that I've cut. And apparently I have trust issues because I never trust what they put in ground meat. So I prefer getting my own meat and just grinding it in the Thermomix. So that's what we're going to do before we continue with the recipe. So what you can do now is just go to the home button and use it right here. So I'm going to put the turkey right in there. I will close the lid. And I'm kind of eyeballing this. I'm going to set the time for 10 seconds and the speed for like 9. Now I clicked on the little recipe icon and my meat is ready. Okay, now this is great and I wasn't expecting this, but I don't know if you can actually see that there's actually a white piece of whatever that is, like a ligament or something like this. Yeah, I don't do that. In my meat, I take that stuff out. There's another little piece. And now I know that my meat isn't going to have any of those things that I just choose not to include in there. Alright, so I have scooped most of it out. It's going to cook in it anyways. Alright, so we are going to put the destemmed chili peppers. The recipe actually mentioned 2 kinds. I'm just doing 1. Then it says the other kind. Then we're going to just pop the garlic in there and mix it. So we mixed it for 5 seconds. And 5 seconds later, this is what we have. Now what I didn't do yet is quarter my onion, and that's all you have to do. Sometimes you can put the whole onion in there. Next, we're adding the peppers. Again, the recipe called for red and green pepper, but I'm just going to put the red one in, and I'm putting less in it than it told me to. Again, putting the lid on and mixing it for 5 seconds. So the pieces are, I'm guessing, supposed to be larger of the onion and the pepper. And this is what we have now. And because there's a lot on the sides, I will scrape the sides down just to make sure that everything sautés the right way, because that is what the next step will be, I believe. Okay, I need to tar it, and then olive oil. And these bottles are coming in so handy. I bought these a while ago. I actually use these for milk as well. And first of all, the handle is amazing for me. And as you tilt it, it opens and then the oil comes out. It never drips on the bottle. I will have those linked down below, as well as the Thermomix website. But 2 ounces, and it's going to weigh it for me right in here. This is what I had a problem with, not being able to, for when you weigh things in it, you can't, like I wasn't able to rest my foot on the Thermomix because it would change the scale, right? You push on this and it adds weight to it. So when I was pouring in milk or anything like that out of a big carton, I would have to use both of my feet to hold it, but then I couldn't hold it up in the air. It was just ridiculous. So milk, oil, things like that, I use these for, and that way I can just do it with 1 foot. Awesome stuff. Okay, next. Okay, so that's another thing that I wasn't sure about, but it says celery stalk in pieces. So I'm just going to chop these to the desired size. And I'm going to keep them pretty small. Alright, I have got them chopped, and now I'm just going to put them in. And again, it said 4 ounces. I only have 2.6, which is for a purpose. I don't like too much celery. Also, the recipes always tell you whether you keep this part, which is the measuring cup, in, or whether you put a simmering basket on it or the Varoma. And if you want to see more of the components that come with the Thermomix, I will link up above the video where I talk about all that stuff. So now it's going to saute it, I believe. So for 3 minutes on the highest temperature, which is called Varoma, and just a small speed, enough so that it mixes the oil in, and it's going to prevent it from burning on the bottom. So I'll be right back. Okay, so in the 3 minutes, I've put away the things that I don't need anymore. I also mixed the other cheese in the bowl. So I added a little bit of the shredded cheese with the grated pepper jack. And let's see what we have. It is steaming. There you go. You've got the steam coming. The veggies look nicely sauteed. I love it. So once again, I'm just going to scrape the sides down just to make sure everything is nice and on the bottom. The veggies let some of the juices out too. Perfect. Now we've got 16 ounces of salsa. Here's my jar of salsa. And this is 24 ounces and some of it is gone, so I'm just going to use a spoon and add the 16 ounces to it. Okay, I feel like this is going to take forever, so I will just dump it out of the jar, at least some of it, because I will have to rest my foot on the Thermomix, which will mess up my scale, but let's just try it. So once I take my feet off of it, it goes back to the desired amount or whatever. It shows the right amount. So right now we're at 12.5. There's really not a lot left. I don't even know if it will be enough, but I'm just going to dump the rest of it out. Okay, so it says we've got 16.2 ounces, which pretty much perfect. Now it's saying to add 1 can tomato sauce or 1 can diced tomatoes. So I'm just going to go with the diced tomatoes. It says about 15 ounces. This has got 14.5, so perfect. Of course I had to spill a little bit, but I've cleaned it all up now. Moving on to the next step, we are adding the ground turkey. Actually, before I dump this in there, I'm just going to like separate it a little bit so it's not just like one huge blob. It still will be, kind of, but I'm hoping that it will mix it enough to where it'll separate it. Next, we have 1 tablespoon of chili powder, which I have here, and I am completely going to eyeball this. Next, we have 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, which again, I'm going to eyeball it. I don't like too much of this, so I'm just going to add a little bit. And coriander was the last thing, which I do not have. We'll skip that. Now lemon juice, it says 1 ounce lemon juice, and it's optional. I find that a lot of the recipes call for a little bit of too much lemon. For example, I was just making the blueberry swirl cheesecake that called for lemon, and I definitely added way less, and it was just fine. Also, I once made like mushroom sauce that called for lemon, and it was way too sour. So I'm just going to literally add a dash of that, like not even a whole tablespoon, which literally is like 0.1 ounces. And next, it is going to cook it for 15 minutes. So I'm going to set this, and I am going to wash whatever I can wash, put away whatever I don't need anymore. So this is pretty much going to be almost the last step in the chili. And I'll be right back. Okay, it's ready for the next step. Alright, so my guess is that my turkey was a little bit too clumped up, to be honest with you, because it didn't mix everything the way it should have. I'll show you what I mean. So hopefully you can see some of it. I don't want to tilt it too much and it's really heavy, but yeah, the turkey is still like in there. So before I move on to the next step, I will just kind of smash it in there. So the next step is just to add the pinto beans, which I will do while it's off over here. I've got them already on a strainer. And I will just stir those in a little bit before I start cooking it again. Now this is like almost full. I didn't expect there to be that much of it. So there you go. Lid is back on. And another 15 minutes now. And I will be back when it's all done. It's ready, and I'm super excited because I am starving. So let's see. Definitely hot. I'm actually just going to put some in the bowl and then show you what it looks like. I'm really hoping that the turkey is all good by now. It looks like it. Let me sprinkle some cheese on top. Alright, so while I was posing for the thumbnail photo here, the cheese like melted, like really melted. So I'm going to give it a try. And obviously you can eat chili with like chips or whatever. I will put a little Polish spin on this. These are buns. They are called bułki wrocławskie. It's a Polish thing, but it's basically bread or a type of bread, and they are made in the Thermomix. And I do plan on making a video of how I make those because it is so easy, so easy. I will rip it in half, have a little bite. I mean, this is delicious. Those buns are the thing I make the most often. Okay, now let's try the chili. This stuff is good. Wow, it is spicy. Let me make sure I try some of the turkey. It's hot. Like, hot in temperature and hot in spiciness. But oh my goodness, this is good. You guys, I will go ahead and enjoy this. Before I actually eat this, one little thing that I love to do is I will dump the rest of the chili into a pot, and then I put water into the Thermomix. I put a little bit of dish soap in there, just a little bit, and then I set it on the pre-clean mode. And I kid you not, after it's done, there's pretty much like, you don't gotta scrub anything. It's pretty much clean. You just kind of rinse it out. Sometimes there's a little bit on the bottom, but that's pretty much the only thing. So that's what I'm going to do now. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This chili is amazing. I'm not even kidding you. I was not expecting it to be that delicious. I cannot wait to enjoy this. Please, you guys, if you liked this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified every time I upload. And I have been consistently uploading twice a week again, which I am hoping to continue doing. But the likes, the comments, they really do help me out a lot. And special thank you if you stayed till the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Oh my goodness, the Thermomix is like the best thing that I have ever purchased. So make sure you check it out, and I will see you again soon. Bye.